Let's be honest, Thanksgiving is all about the sides. So I'm making a full-on Sidesgiving, and it's all coming out of a box, a bag, or a can. Hey there everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Scott, and I'm a sides queen. I am making it all. Mashed potatoes, stuffing, yams, 7 sides in all, plus gravy, plus a dessert. And it's all convenience type foods that are pretty much ready to heat and eat, maybe with 1 or 2 very simple ingredients, but nothing crazy. I'm gonna use my stove, my oven, my air fryer, maybe the microwave. All of that's gonna be put into action to make the magic happen. And I didn't mention, it's all vegan and it'll serve 3 to 4 people generously. I'm doing this for so many reasons, but the main reason is I want to taste test all of this stuff. Mainly this vegan stuffing though. You probably know if you're a vegan, it is very hard to find vegan stuffing right out of a bag or a box. And let me just say, if this tastes anything like Stovetop, one of my all-time favorites from back in the day, I will be one very happy sides queen. But to be honest with you, I don't think I've had anything here before except for maybe the canned green beans. Okay, so I've set aside an hour to make all of this stuff, which is not very long to make a full-on Sidesgiving meal, but we're gonna make it work, and I think I need to start the timer and get cooking. Before I turn on the oven, here's our Sidesgiving menu. Stuffing, yams, mashed potatoes, green beans, mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, gravy, and last but not least, cranberry sauce. For dessert, apple pie and pumpkin cheesecake. Let's begin with the end, shall we? Dessert. This is Marie Callender's Dutch apple pie, and she's gonna need about an hour to cook. So Ms. Callender goes straight into the oven. And I am so happy this pie is vegan because I cannot wait to try it. My other dessert, yes, I'm serving 2 desserts, is the Daiya cheesecake. She needs to just sit on the counter and thaw while I cook everything else. Into a pan go the green beans. Now when I was a kid, my mom cooked these things for hours and hours with fatback or bacon grease. Now that we're all older and there are vegans and vegetarians sprinkled throughout the family, she still cooks them for a long time, but she only adds vegan butter and seasonings. I've got butter for my menu, so I don't feel like it's too crazy to add a few pats for extra flavor along with a little salt and pepper. Mac and cheese really isn't part of my family's Thanksgiving tradition, but we've had so many guests over the years who've requested it, I realized it might be part of your tradition, so I got some Daiya mac and cheese. The box says it serves 3, but I've had the Alfredo Daiya, which is in the same size box, and it's more like 1 or 2 servings, so I got 2 boxes for my meal for 4. The noodles need to boil for 8 minutes. You can't have Sidesgiving without the yams, and I know these are not yams, they're sweet potatoes, but you see what Bruce calls them on the can, right? Now you're supposed to just dump these into a pot and heat them up. You could even throw them into the microwave, but I want to be a little fancy and throw them into a baking dish with just a little bit of that sweet syrup that's in the can. I'll cover them with foil and they'll go right beside our pie, but only for about 15 or 20 minutes. I know so many people who make Brussels sprouts at Thanksgiving, and I'm not judging, but when I saw these fire roasted sprouts in the frozen food section of the grocery store, I had to put them on the menu. The ingredients are so simple. Sprouts, oil, brown sugar, and spices. Easy peasy vegan. And they don't take up oven space because these are going into the air fryer for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. Now the next few dishes go by pretty fast and they all need boiling water. So I've got a kettle on the stove that's just squealing away and ready for the instant potatoes. This bag says it serves 4, but everyone loves mashed potatoes, so I got 2 bags. And I know that potato flakes are always vegan, but the flavored instant potatoes are never vegan. Well, except for this one here, which is labeled buttery home style, and that sounds very promising. And now for the highly anticipated stuffing. So back in the day, I loved Stovetop, and trust me, there is no vegan equivalent. This Cushy sourdough stuffing mix requires water and butter, and that's it. Mix it together and cover it for 5 minutes. So quick, just like Stovetop. So fingers crossed, this is gonna be delicious. This is going by fast, like really fast. I feel like I've only been at this a few minutes and I'm already halfway done with most of the foods, which is really amazing. So let's talk gravy. Now, I love my homemade onion gravy, mushroom gravy, sage gravy. I make all of them at Thanksgiving and Christmas time. But for our out of the can, out of the box, out of the packet Sides-Giving meal, I'm just gonna use these 2 packets. They're both vegan. This one is Delicious Golden. This one is Savory Herb. That sounds delicious, so I think I'm just gonna mix them together. I know I'm a sides queen, so I love hosting a Sides-Giving dinner. But think about how cost-effective a Sides-Giving meal could be for you. Now, obviously, you wouldn't use all convenience foods like I'm doing for this video, but even for us vegans, the vegan turkey can be the most expensive thing on the menu, and that's definitely true for a real turkey. And why is turkey so important anyways? I vote you take the money that you would spend on that turkey and make 2 or 3 more delicious side dishes, and I bet your family and your friends who come to your dinner will remember those side dishes way more than they'd remember like a slice of turkey or a big ol' hunk of tofurkey. Oh, sorry, tofurkey. I know you've been there for us vegans for a very long time. Sorry. Back to the grind and our mac and cheese. Now, this is just a sauce packet, so it could not be any easier. If I were adding other ingredients, I'd spruce this up with a little more butter and a little more shredded vegan cheese, and I'd definitely top her with crushed Ritz crackers. But I'm sticking to the rules, no additions, and I'm sure this will be great as is. You love it or you hate it. I know, cranberry sauce. I happen to love it. And I grew up eating the sliced can-molded jelly cranberry sauce, which, by the way, is vegan, but I've never had this whole berry canned version, so I am super excited to try this as well. Our pie is out of the oven, and whoa, do not be tempted to just tear into it right now because it smells amazing. So save the roof of your mouth, let's have dinner, and then we can have dessert. While I'm at it, the Daiya cheesecake is thawed enough where I can slice it. Now, she is tiny. I mean, look at the size of this box compared to the cake that's inside the box. The box also says to cut it into 4 to 6 equal pieces, but then it also says that the serving size is 3 per box, so I am not understanding the math, Daiya. Let's take a moment to admire this plate before we taste test everything. So this ain't a cheap meal. Everything was about 50 bucks and it'll serve 4 generously. Now the average cost of a Thanksgiving dinner this year is $80 to $90, but that's for 10 people. Mine feeds a family of 4 and it's all pretty much ready-made, it's all vegan, and if time is money, then this meal really makes up for it. There's no getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to make that Thanksgiving bird. I know the apple pie took over an hour to make, but everything else, all of these sides, they all came together in about 30 minutes, which is absolutely amazing. Now, of course, the true test is, does it taste good? Well, we're about to find out, and I hope it does taste good because this is exactly what I'm feeding my family tonight for dinner. I mentioned my mom cooks her green beans until they're practically gray, and I think it's more fair to call her green beans, and probably these too, stewed green beans. And I know some people think that they're overcooked and that that's pretty gross, but we absolutely love them. The salt is perfect, and that vegan butter actually adds a lot of flavor. Now, if you're missing that ham hock or that bacon grease that a lot of southern stewed green beans have, I would say just add a dash of liquid smoke and you're there. If you're vegan, you know that the Daiya cheese products have a very signature smell and flavor. I think it's actually gotten better over the years, but I will not be surprised if I kind of smell that and taste that with this. Smell-wise, I don't smell it, but taste-wise, let's see. This was surprisingly very good vegan mac and cheese. Now, I would still probably add a little bit more vegan butter to it, maybe a little bit more vegan cheese, but I'm really okay with this. Now, this is by far the most expensive side dish that I made. 2 boxes of Daiya cost $9 and it was on sale. And if money is really no issue at all for you, then I would actually go with the Cheo frozen mac and cheese. I love that stuff, but you'll definitely have to buy a few boxes to feed 4. But hey, this is a splurge too, and if this kind of mac and cheese gives you those warm fuzzy feelings of Thanksgiving's gone by, then I say do it. I love it when big brands do vegan versions of their products. And these potatoes are Idahoan. And when you go to the grocery store aisle with all of those instant flavored mashed potatoes, Idahoan is pretty much the most prominent brand. Now, these are called Buttery Homestyle, and I gotta say, I reserve the right to add more vegan butter to my Buttery Homestyle vegan mashed potatoes. So let's taste here. Wow. Okay, it's sides giving, so I'm definitely gonna add a little bit more vegan butter, but if this were a normal Tuesday night dinner, these are just fine. No extra butter needed, no extra salt. And these things are super cheap too. $1.69 for a bag that feeds 4. And of course, I got 2 bags because I like a lot of mashed potatoes so I can put a lot of gravy on them. Oh my gosh, the gravy. Okay. I could drink this straight up, but I will definitely spare you that shot and I'll just taste it. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, such good herbs in that packet of gravy. And it's not like super salty either, which is pretty nice. Oh my gosh. I am definitely that person who could pour gravy all over their mac and cheese and all over their stuffing. And maybe when you're not looking, I'd even put them on my green beans and my yams. Canned yams or sweet potatoes? Try debating that one at your Thanksgiving table this year. Now, canned yams are not super cost effective when it comes to quantity. We'll see about the quality, but the can of sweet potatoes that I bought was $4.69, and that will serve 4. You know, you can buy a 3-pound bag of sweet potatoes, organic, and that will feed an army. And they're not that much more trouble to make either. You just throw them into the oven or the microwave and roast them. So, sorry. That's not bad at all. I think what I would do next time if I bought canned sweet potatoes is instead of just pouring a little bit of the liquid in, I would actually pour all of the sweet liquid into that pan and roast them. I would also roast them uncovered. Now, if you love sweet potatoes as much as I do, I've got a sweet potato lasagna recipe here on my channel. It is Garfield inspired and it actually has sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes in it. After you're done watching this video, check out the description box down below because I'm gonna post the link there so you can go watch that video. Sprouts, not the prettiest vegetable. Now the back of the bag says after you air fry them, you could drizzle them with a little balsamic vinegar, and that's actually exactly how my mom makes them. But I wanted to see how they taste straight out of the air fryer and out of the bag with its own seasonings. Oh my gosh. That is really delicious. And this is such a good example of a vegan food that is not marketed as vegan, but of course it is. So when I go to people's houses for dinner as a vegan, of course I never request a special menu. I mean, most of the people in my life know I'm vegan, so they'll maybe make a little special something for me or say, hey, can you bring something? But what really gets me crazy is when I go to someone's house for dinner or for a party or whatever, and they're like, I just don't know what to make you. Like, it's really hard to make something vegan. And in my head, I'm like, have you ever heard of a vegetable? And these sprouts are such a good example of something that is right out of the freezer bag, straight into the air fryer, less than 10 minutes to make, and it's vegan. And I love them, and I'm sure everybody at the table is gonna love them too. It's almost stuffing time, but first let's do cranberry sauce. Now, I love making homemade cranberry sauce with orange juice and a little bit of cinnamon. It's probably like in my top 3 favorite things to eat at Thanksgiving. And I've had that jellied version at my mom's house, the jellied version that doesn't have any of the whole cranberries in it. But this is my first time having whole cranberry sauce out of a can. So let's see. I mean, how can you go wrong with cranberries and sugar? This is a must for that post-Thanksgiving sandwich. I love cranberry sauce so much. I put it on my toast in the morning with a little vegan butter. I freeze it, so during those picnics and barbecues during the spring and summer, I pull it out and we have it then. I really love cranberry sauce. I mean, oh, so delicious. It's not just for Thanksgiving. It's stuffing time, and it has been decades since I have had stovetop stuffing, but that taste and that smell are like burned into my memory, and I'm telling you, it's all coming back to me because this smells just like what I remember stovetop smelling like. But does it taste like stovetop? Let's see. I have no words. All of my Thanksgiving dreams have come true. Oh my gosh. All my stovetop memories are coming like flooding back to me right now. My granny used to make stovetop stuffing instead of, like homemade stuffing. And I remember I had a date like a million years ago and the guy didn't know how to cook and he made me stovetop and I thought that was really sweet. So this is so fantastic. Now, my homemade vegan stuffing is probably the best thing that I do at Thanksgiving and everyone really loves it. And I love my mom's cornbread stuffing, but this is absolutely delicious and it is totally going into my normal meal rotation, except of course for this vegan Sides-giving. I need gravy on that. When your pie comes out of the oven, it's gonna need about 2 hours to rest. So you'll have to time all that out with your meal. But in my family, we actually don't eat dessert right after the Thanksgiving meal. We do a little bit of cleanup, we have a chat, and then we go in for the dessert round. So I think if this comes out of the oven just as you're sitting down for dinner, then the timing could really work out. All right, let's see here. Okay, this is by far the most accessible, accidentally vegan dessert that you can find. And I would say, first of all, no one will know this is vegan, I promise you. But if you've got a vegan coming to dinner, please do this not just for them, but do it for your entire family. This is incredibly delicious. I mean, it's Marie Callender's, of course it is. If you are looking to gild the lily just a little bit, Breyers makes an oat milk vanilla ice cream, and I have a feeling it's gonna be amazing with this pie. Okay. To all of you who labor over your pie, your apple pie, just do this with some vegan ice cream. I mean, it's the perfect way to end a Thanksgiving meal. Oh my God. Remember, I'm serving 2 desserts and look at that teeny little baby piece of cheesecake. I am getting really full, so I cannot eat much more. But remember I said earlier that Daiya, this is a Daiya cheesecake. Daiya has a very signature smell, flavor, taste. I did not taste that very much in the vegan mac and cheese that we had earlier, so I'm hoping that will be the case with this cheesecake. Now, I've had Daiya's regular cheesecake before, many years ago, but I have never, ever had the pumpkin version, so I'm excited. Oh my! That is such a nice surprise. That's tangy, kind of like you would think a cheesecake would be. Nice, subtle pumpkin pie spices. Whoa, that is really good. Now, I would say if you're having all vegans over for your Sides-giving meal, serve this. They are gonna absolutely love it. I'm actually gonna go back and get a bigger piece now. But if you have a mixed crowd coming for Thanksgiving, I would not serve this to the non-vegans because you'll just hear all night, that tastes like it's vegan, and from that uncle, and you know which uncle I'm talking about. But the vegans, they're gonna love this. Man. All in all, I think this was actually a really delicious Sides-giving meal. And I think this is the perfect kind of meal for those of you who might have to work on Thanksgiving and you need something fast to put together when you're done with your shift. I used to be a journalist and I spent many a Thanksgiving, many a Christmas working in the newsroom and then getting home and having to make something, and we ended up eating really late at night. So I would have loved to have had access to all these things back then. I could have pulled off a great meal right at the end of the day. If you're hosting a vegan this Thanksgiving, then I would say any of these dishes that I made here today would be great for them. And what's nice is they're not just great for them, they're great for the entire party that you've got coming over. And to those of you who are vegan and maybe you've got non-vegans coming into your Thanksgiving meal, don't sweat it. All of these products are gonna be delicious. If you've made it this far in this very long video, let me know what your favorite side dish is for Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday, have lots of sides, and happy Sidesgiving from me, the Sides Queen.